Hey there! So we're getting ready to go over everybody's favorite topic, which is OSHA. It's not as exciting as my voice is making it sound. But seriously, we're going to cover OSHA. This is going to be a long video because I'm going to try and get everything in depth for you so it's all in one place, and I'm going to put in a couple sample practice questions from the book, right? Haha. So stay tuned to the end because you will get some insight. But yeah, so let's get started. OSHA, ready? Who are they? What do I need to know? Are they going to affect me? Are they? I don't know. Let's see. Are you talking really fast? Yeah, I am talking really fast because we got a lot to cover. So let's get to it. So before we go in, I had oral surgery. I've got like a retainer thing up here. Now I have a lisp. It's fun, but we're going to make do and you're going to learn. So when it comes to OSHA, what does it stand for? It stands for one of two things. So it can be either the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, and it can be the Occupational Safety and Health Act of 1970. So when it comes to the law of it, just it's overall to note that the law holds employers accountable for providing a safe and healthy working environment. The general duty clause in OSHA's regulation says employers shall furnish each employee with a place of employment free from recognized hazards that are likely to cause death or serious injury. It also holds employers responsible for abiding by all safety rules and regulations in the workplace. Everybody's held accountable. Safety is key. Tons of lawsuits that can be avoided if everybody's safe. Super important. So then we get to our record keeping requirements. 5 years. Got it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I'm saying this because it's really important to know that the records are kept for 5 years. So when it comes to your record keeping requirements, it's necessary to know that it is important to conduct and document inspections of the workplace looking for safety and health hazards. It's also necessary to document and make available to employees records about hazardous materials and how they must be properly handled. Employers with 10 or more people on the payroll must summarize all injury and instances and post that summary in a conspicuous place within the workplace. And that report must remain posted from February 1st to April 30th each year. And then you're going to have to do a full incident report, which must be prepared by the employer and maintained in a safety file. These records must be maintained for a minimum of 5 years. Got it? Ready? You can do it. 5 years from the date of the incident. So when it comes to the type of reporting, there are 3 forms. There's the OSHA 300 form, the OSHA 301, and the OSHA 300A form. Each of those have different they're different forms. They have different purposes. That's the word. And we're going to go over those in just a second. But now we're going to go over the enforcement of OSHA. So now on to the fun part of OSHA, right? The enforcement of them. So that means inspections, right? Not fun, but it's going to happen to you. So it's important to know what can happen. So these include the following, which is an on-site visits that are conducted without an advance notice. They can pretty much come in and request the permit to inspect your place of employment for no reason, out of the blue. So they are watching. Then you have your on-site inspections and phone/fax investigations. So OSHA is going to be sending you a detailed report that they want filled out, and that's part of their investigation. And you have 5 business days to get back with them. And you also have 5 years that you have to maintain the reports. See, 5. Okay. Then you have your highly trained compliance officers. So these are just OSHA training institutes that provides training for OSHA compliance officers and things along those lines. I've seen this in the Floor Safety Institute business. It's actually a thing, just so you know. Then we have your inspections priorities include the following. So imminent danger. These are situations where death or serious injuries are likely. Then you have fatalities and catastrophes. So these are incidents that involve a death or the hospitalization of 3 or more employees. If an employee has died, you have 8 hours to report that to OSHA. 8 hours. That's not 5, you have 8. Worker complaints. So these are when if a worker has made an allegation of workplace hazards or OSHA violations, then they can come in and investigate. They're going to be looking that up. Referrals. So other federal or state or local agencies, individuals, organizations, or the media can make referrals to OSHA based on your organization. Sure, that's fun. Then you have your follow-ups. So that's just OSHA coming back to follow up on what they'd already inspected. So after that, we can move on to planned or programmed investigation. That'd be kind of nice. So OSHA can conduct inspections aimed at specific high hazard industries or individual workplaces that have experienced high rates of injuries and illnesses. These are sometimes called targeted investigations. So those are the type of investigations that can go in and what their high priority are. Now we're going to be moving into some OSHA compliance and what you need to know when it comes to being compliant. Okay, so now we're into OSHA compliance and we're going to be targeting accident reporting. Yay, fun things. Depending on the size of your organization and how many employees you have on your payroll, it's going to look a little bit different. Even if you have one person, there will be responsibilities for you to provide accident reporting. But it looks a little bit different after you have 10 people and onwards. So look that up depending on where you work, because it's going to look a little bit different and you're going to need to know that. So when it comes to accident reporting, OSHA requires that any accidents that only require first aid do not need to be reported. So yay! But from there, how does OSHA define first aid? So OSHA defines first aid as any incident that it requires you to use non-prescription medication at non-prescription strength, administering tetanus immunizations, using wound coverings such as bandages, band-aids, gauze pads, and so on, using a hot or cold therapy, using any non-rigid means of support such as elastic bandages, wraps, non-rigid back belts, and so on, using temporary immobilization devices while transporting an accident victim. That seems insane, but drilling a fingernail or toenail to relieve pressure, draining fluid from a blister. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna vom. Using eye patches, removing foreign bodies from the eye, using only irrigation or a cotton swab, removing splinters or foreign material from areas other than the eye by irrigation, tweezers, cotton swabs, or other simple means, using finger guards, using massages, drinking fluids for relief or of heat of stress. So now we know what they define what doesn't need to be recorded. Oh, some of that still makes me want to vom. What do they define as a recordable injury or illness? Any work-related fatality, any work-related injury or illness that results in loss of consciousness, days away from work, restricted work, or transfers to another job, any work-related injury or illness requiring medical treatment beyond first aid, which I already went over that big long list, any work-related diagnosed case of cancer, chronic irreversible diseases, fractured or cracked bones or teeth, and punctured eardrums. And there are also special recording criteria for work-related cases involving needle sticks and sharp injuries and medical removing, hearing loss, tuberculosis. The needle stick is when you don't use the employee's name, you see their title, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to gloss over that because I'm going to do that in another video. So now we know that that is what is defined as recordable. Those need to be submitted. These reports need to be submitted within 24 hours. Uno day. Now we're going to move to our last part, which is our incident reports. So we're going to be doing our OSHA 301 form, our OSHA 300A form, and the OSHA 300 form, right? Yep, definitely went out of order. So let's get going. All right, so we're getting going. So we've got our OSHA form 301. This is the injury and illness incident report. It's basically just used to document reportable injury. It asks for basic information such as the name, address, birth date, hire date, who the attending medical provider was, what happened, and what the employee was doing before getting injured. You've got to keep this report for 5 years. We did that earlier, right? Then we have our 300 form. So this form contains information about the number of days of work lost because of the accident and the number of days that the employee was on restricted duty or in different job assignments while recovering. The OSHA Form 300 is in essence just a log of accidents that have happened during the year. And then it just must be summarized into our OSHA 300A form. So that 300 form must be summarized and documented on OSHA Form 300A. That must be posted in a conspicuous location for the workplace from February 1st to April 30th each year. So those are just the 3 reporting things that you're going to need to know. 5 years, you got that. I know it. I know. I believe in you. So now I'm going to go over 2 practice questions and let's see if you can get them right. I'm going to give you the answers so you can, and then we'll be done. So now we're moving into our 2 practice questions. I'm not going to do multiple choice. I'm actually just going to read you the situation and give you the answer just because it's kind of hard to do like this over voice. So in this situation, Drake, the lead groundskeeper, is off the company's premises, cleaning the back access road leading to the company's building. Drake slips and falls and he injures his back. So, per OSHA, what form needs to be filled out? Are you ready for the answer? I'll give you a second. The OSHA 300 log. Yay, you got this. I believe in you. Then, when you are dealing with an employee that has been hospitalized, how many hours do you have to notify OSHA? 24. Haha, I gave it to you. Oh, also, this is a surprise. How many years do the records need to be kept? I believe in you. You can do this. 5 years. So thanks for watching. If my practice test isn't in the video just yet, come back and check it out. Those take a little bit of time to make. I hope this has been super helpful. Leave me a comment with what you liked, didn't like. Subscribe because I always am making more videos, and give this a like. So thank you for watching.